All right, everybody, welcome back to Getting Sober, Again, my name is Jay, and today we are doing another episode, but today is a little bit different. Today we're actually live right now, and if you are here, you have the opportunity to chat, but I'm probably not going to be able to read what you're saying because I'm actually going to be doing the episode, which is a it's actually a 4-part episode. So this is episode number 120. So I'm sitting here as I normally would for my live streams, which looks pretty much identical to the episodes, right? So we are here live and we are doing this episode on Wednesday. It is noon. So this is a 4-part episode that has to do with questions that people ask about sobriety. I have 40 questions total. So the first episode came out last Wednesday. You can check out that episode. The video link will be in the description. And then also at the end of this video, at the end credits of this video, there will be a link to that episode if you want to watch that one. So this is the second of a 2-part series, and then we'll have the third part next Wednesday at noon, and then we'll have the final 4th of 4 episode 2 weeks from today. And then don't forget also to join us for our live streams every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern and every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern. We do weekend live streams. So they are sober weekend live streams. And then so that's it. So make sure that if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe by hitting the subscribe button down below. And then also to consider joining our awesome community by hitting the join button next to the subscribe button down below. And if you haven't yet, please give this video a big thumbs up, and then don't forget at some point to leave a comment for either me or for one of the many helpful members of our amazing and super positive community in the comment section down below. All right, let's get started with today's episode after I play our intro. All right, welcome back to Getting Sober, Again, my name is Jay, and today we are going to go ahead and get started with today's second part of 2. A series, episode number 120. We have over 160 episodes so far, so this is going to be the second of a 4-part series of questions that people have about sobriety. So I'm going to be reading from my laptop here in front of me, which is not like most of the episodes. This is going to feel a little bit like our live streams. So I'll put the questions up on the screen so you can see what we're doing and what we're talking about. So here we go. Ta-da! So the first question is, how did you tell your family and friends that you quit drinking? So that's a pretty big question, right? And a lot of people ask me that. They're just like, well, how do you tell your friends and your family members that you're getting sober? I'm not really sure. I'm kind of apprehensive. And I was apprehensive in the beginning as well, when I was getting ready to go on this sober journey. And I'll tell you, it was mostly because I didn't know that I could count on myself, if that makes any sense to anybody, which I'm sure it does. So a lot of you probably knew that you wanted to get sober, but you tried in the past and you didn't give it that great of a try, and then you ended up having to get sober again, right? So what ends up happening is it's a little bit embarrassing, right? Where like, how many times have you said that you're going to get sober, and then you tell your drinking friends, your drinking buddies or whatever, you're just like, oh no, I'm going to quit drinking this weekend or whatever, or you just say like, I'm not drinking anymore, that's it, to only then a couple of days later find yourself doing what? Drinking again. And then maybe finding yourself sitting next to the same person that you told you're quitting at the bar, because a lot of us like to tell, we get excited about our sobriety and we want to tell everybody like, no, I'm going to get sober, or I'm going to quit, or I'm going to do a detox, or I'm doing a 30-day challenge or whatever. And then, I would say for me, I probably said that I was going to get sober at least a dozen times, probably 20 times or more, who knows. And so what I didn't want to do is I didn't want to find myself saying again that I was getting sober, and then again fall short of that goal, and then again subject myself to judgment, right? And that's what a lot of us know, that we know that we didn't know what version of ourselves was going to wake up in the morning. We didn't know how reliable we were going to be. We didn't know how long we were going to hang on to this job or this relationship or this place that we're living in. So I didn't want to do that. I knew that I had to make a big change, right? And in case you're wondering where questions 1 through 10 are, if you haven't watched, last week's episode was part 1 of 4, and we have the first 10 questions are in that episode. So today is going to be 11 through 20, right? So how did I tell my friends and family? Well, I didn't make this big announcement, was my whole point of what I just said for the last X amount of minutes. I didn't want to tell my friends and family and jinx it. Does that make sense? So I didn't want to jinx this decision that I was making because I didn't want to make myself look like a fool, again. So I waited until I had enough momentum behind me. And I didn't even pick really a specific day, though I tried before. I tried quitting at the day after my birthday, after I was full of poison, right? I tried on New Year's Day after I was full of poison, right? I picked my ex's birthday. I picked random other days, or like the death day of somebody or the birthday of somebody. And I thought it had to be like the significant day because I thought like, well, maybe if I could just piggyback it onto this other decision, then maybe it'll feel like I won't let myself down. But lo and behold, I let myself down a bunch of days. So I talked about in previous episodes that it doesn't need to be a specific day. It doesn't need to be any special day. And I actually quit on October 30th of 2020 after drinking my ass off for most of 2020, which is why I think a lot of us are here, again, right? So I wanted to make sure they had enough momentum. I don't like stereotypical things. I don't like what everybody else is doing. I don't like say Halloween, for example. So with Halloween, let me turn my monitor on real quick. So for Halloween, which is October 31st, I didn't want to go out and I didn't want to party with everybody else. So I thought on October 30th, I'll just avoid it and I won't have any temptation to go out and drink. I'll get a head start on drinking. And I known from previously getting sober, again, in my attempts to get sober, that the best formula for me was to wean myself off slowly. So like, let's say if I was consuming about 10 drinks a day, then the next day I'd still have some drinks. I'd have 8 drinks, and then the next day I'd have 6, and the next day I'd have 4, and the next day I probably gonna have 4 again, and then I get down to 2, and then I'd see if I could just do none, and then I'd have none, and then maybe 1, and then I'd slowly taper off, just like I'd done with with antidepressants or whatever else, any other medications that you need to get off of, or even alcohol or whatever, drugs, legal or otherwise. It's always best to taper off. So I wanted to make sure that I had a lot of momentum behind me. And I had that there was proof in the pudding, that there was proof of my work, so to speak. It wasn't just like I'm sober, or I'm getting sober, and it's like, all right, yeah, we've heard you say this before. We've heard you say this again, and again, and again. So I don't want to make myself look stupid. And then after I had something to be proud about, which you may be, if you're getting sober for the first time, or again, you might find yourself being like really excited after just 3 days, right? Because 3 days is a really big burden. It's a very big hurdle too to get past on day 4. So congratulations to Jennifer Burton, who I think is in the live chat. I think I scanned down and I saw Jennifer Burton maybe in the live chat. But congratulations to you on your day 4. And congratulations to everybody else out there that might be listening on their day 4 or day 5 or whatever, and practicing their first time maybe on a day 3 or first time on a day 4. And then if you end up having a failing, well, maybe it'll be your second time on day 4, and you'll realize what ended up not working for you that made you fall short of getting to day 5, right? So make sure that you have something. I wanted to make sure that I had something that I was excited about. So it wasn't until like after I'd been sober, like I had been sober for 3 days, a bunch. I had been sober for 4 days, a bunch. I've been sober for 5 days, for a week, a bunch. I've been sober for 10 days a few times. I've been sober for 2 weeks, rarely, maybe twice maybe. And I hadn't been sober I only been sober for 30 days, maybe a couple of times. So I wanted to make sure that I got myself to that position and then talk about it. and have something to be proud of, right? That's what we always talk about. Getting to that 30-day mark is something to be proud of. And then not rewarding yourself with poison, of course. We want to do what we need to do to keep moving forward, keeping that momentum going, because sobriety is yours. You went through hell to get it. You went through 3 days. That sucked. You went through 7 days. That also sucked. You went through 2 weeks. Most of it sucked. But once you come to the realization that I'm doing this, and nothing's going to stop me. Once you've made the commitment, once you've gotten enough momentum, a lot of us are momentum based. If you're not momentum based and you're watching live, say you're not momentum based, but I'm pretty sure we all work on momentum. And if you're watching in the future, comment below. Do you work on momentum? Comment below. I'm sure that you also operate on momentum. So how did I tell my friends? I told them after I had had some progress to be proud of, that's something where I could say like, hey, I've been sober. Actually, I've been sober for a month. And then they think about it for a second. They're like, oh yeah, your eyes aren't all glassy, and your face looks a little bit more defined, and you don't smell like alcohol and cigarettes and failure and whatever else. Not saying you all smell like failure, but you know what I mean, right? So that's why I want to have some. So that's how I did it. I told my friends and my family, I was like, hey, I've been sober for 30 days or whatever, and I did something else too. It's like, I started this channel, and I've been sober 30 days a couple of times now during this journey, which has been started on November 28th of 2018. So that is the end of question number. Well, it's the first question of this video, but question number 11 in this series of 40 questions. So we'll be moving on. And sorry, I'm not. I can't participate here. Let me say hello to the chat community in the live chat. Hello, everyone. This is the first time that we've done an episode as a live stream. Love you. All right, cool. So there's that. I can't chat with everybody right now, and also do a bunch of people at work. So, but this will be available to watch all day. So you'll be able to watch this all throughout Wednesday and all throughout Thursday and Friday. We're keeping the fat in there, so I wouldn't be talking about live streams, and I would have taken like a traditional episode. I would have taken out all of the ums and the buts and the silences and whatever. So I got to really be on my A game to answer these questions as well as possible. I went for my bike ride today and all that, and that's all information I usually wouldn't talk about in the more modern episodes, because I know people we are all goldfish now. We have very short attention spans, right? So it's all good. Me too. All right, question number 12. You ready? What's the best way to quit drinking alcohol? So I bet you already know the answer, because I just talked about this in the last question. The flip side. Love you. I'm watching the chat along live. But again, if you're watching this pre-recorded, I love you too. So the question is, what's the best way to quit drinking alcohol? Make sure my head's not getting cut off here during this live stream. What's the best way to quit drinking alcohol? There, I've said it 5 times now. It's tapering off, in my opinion. So if a few people, give me 1 second, I'll make sure I can keep talking. A lot of people, not a few people, a lot of people are just like, I still have booze in the house. There's one of our subscribers that's like, yeah, I have a house full of moonshine. You know who you are. And but they're still having success. I don't recommend that for anybody, because one of the things about our muscle memory is, whenever we were going to go do some work in the garage, we crack open that can of beer. Whenever we're about to start prepping veggies for dinner, we would pop open that bottle of wine, right? Whatever it was, we knew what our routine was, and it became muscle memory, especially if you were as old as I am, or even older, and you've had decades of drinking, right? If you've had decades of drinking behind you, you've also had decades of knowing what bar to go to, which bartender's going to be there, maybe even follow your bartenders around from bar to bar. You know what places have the best happy hour deals, and then maybe they have good food too, right? You know what movie theaters serve alcohol. You know what your routine is and what makes you feel comfortable. You know where you can get your medicine, and you maybe know where you can get your medicine made the way you want it, the best way. Or if you're more of a value drinker, you know where you can get it at the best price, right? And that's kind of what I think a lot of us become, because not a lot of us are balling out of control financially, right? So we end up becoming value drinkers because we also too are being realists about it. And we're like, we're literally just gonna dump this down. We're gonna flush this down the toilet. So what's the point of drinking something good? And then some people end up resorting to drinking grocery store bottom shelf dusty plastic handle vodka or whatever it is. Sorry, I'm making fun of the old you, right? I'm also making fun of the old me. I used to drink La Prima tequila. But so what's the best way to quit drinking alcohol? Is tapering off, right? So like I said in the last question number 11 was, I'd known that I'd set a date for myself on some of the sobriety journeys. I had set a date, right? And then I knew that sometimes it didn't work for me. But I also knew, like, once I was ready to break up with alcohol, just like when you were ready to break up with somebody, you're like, you call them a little less. You stop maybe asking them WYD, which stands for what are you doing? You stop texting them WYD, at 11 o'clock, and you're like, maybe I'd rather be lonely than participate in a little bit of familiar toxicity, if you know what I mean, right? So when we get to the point where we're willing to ditch our familiar toxicities, then we can get to a place where we can start to plan, we can start to prepare for sobriety. Check out episode number 103 if you haven't yet. Again, I'm going to repeat that really slowly. Check out episode number 103. It's called Preparing for Sobriety, right? And I say in that video, and I like to say this all the time, people will spend more time preparing to go to the beach than they will to prepare for sobriety. It's kind of ridiculous, right? So prepare. Get the alcohol out of your house. Donate it. Don't drink it. This is a sober journey. Sobriety is not a destination, right? It's not a task. You're not like mop the floors, check. It's not like, oh, sobriety, check, did that, done that. All right, what's next? Well, I mean, if you're that, if you are robot-like, kind of how I am, if you're like, oh, sobriety, boom, nailed it, good, I'm good now. That's kind of how I feel, though. I kind of feel like I'm good, right? Does the thought of alcohol still pop in my head? Yeah, it sure does. But I mean, not in a way that I'm just like, oh, I don't know what to do. I'm gonna freak out. I need to drive to the bar. I need to go, I need to go get a drink. I need to go to a liquor store. I need to go to familiar places and associate with toxic people and do toxic things. That's not how it is, for me anymore. I'm pretty much about my business, and part of that business is being here with you guys in this channel. You know why? Because I love you. All right, moving on to, I probably could have went longer with that answer. Well, all right, let me say a couple more things instead of being cute. So, instead of just being cute. So what's the best way to quit drinking alcohol? Talking to your friends. I always, another big suggestion here, get out your pen and paper. Hopefully you got some pen and paper ready, always, right? Is to also too, I have a P.O. box now. We have a P.O. box. So if you want to send anything, check out the community bulletins from us and check out the about section of our page that has my email address and has a P.O. box. And if I remember, which I remember right now because I'm going to write it down because I have pen and paper, I'm going to put it in the video description. A new P.O. box. I don't remember what it is. And it's going to change eventually whenever I move, right? So if you want to send anything nice, one of those big publishers clearinghouse checks, whatever you want to do, just don't send perishables or food, right? Because I got to also keep my safety in mind, right? So I don't know, I love you, but I don't know if I'm going to trust your cookies. Okay, so best ways to quit drinking alcohol. Here's the big suggestion: is consider signing up for therapy first. And what I mean by that is it takes a little bit. It takes a little bit of time to do the intake process, okay? It takes a little bit of time for them to have the intake interview, to pair you up with the right person, to get your insurance and all that kind of stuff settled. It takes about 30 days or so. So if you know that you're going to be getting ready to do the sobriety journey, and whether it's your first time or your 50th time, you might need a professional friend to help you navigate your headspace and your existence in this world, right? A lot of us, we have friends, but they're not professional thinkers, or they don't help us to think professionally, right? We have friends, we have family members, we have coworkers, but none of those people are qualified to help us navigate our headspace as it's, with regard to how we experience the world. So please consider signing up for therapy so you have a professional, non-biased person in your life, yeah, you have to pay them, but there's also therapy probably in your city, probably church-based, doesn't mean it's religious, but provided by churches or whatever, or community centers that are on a sliding scale financially. All right, so think about that. So I wish that I had done that, because all the times that I had gone to therapy, I wasn't sober. So there's that. You probably have much more success than I did, and I'm not saying that I didn't have success. I definitely learned some things in therapy, but also too, just being open, being transparent with your friends, family, because you never know who you're going to inspire with your sobriety, right? That's episode, I think, 117. If you haven't watched that one, watch that one. You never know who you're going to inspire with your sobriety. There may be if you're looking around and you're like, man, none of my friends or family are sober. Well, guess what? There has to be a pioneer to something. There has to be a pioneer for everything that's ever been invented, every path that's ever been created, every situation that was a first. Maybe you're going to be the first one in your family. Maybe you're going to be the first one in your community. And from that, when we turn your light on, when we let your light shine brightly to illuminate the path in the world around you, guess what? You're going to start to attract people that are of the same mindset, who also potentially want to do what? Get sober. So maybe you don't have anybody else, but guess what? You have me, and you have other people in this community. You have people in the comment section right now. Check out the chat right now. We don't have a whole heck of a lot of people, but the people that are here for the long haul. The people that are here are very supportive. And also too, it's Wednesday at noon, people are at work. But come to our Friday 7 p.m. Eastern live streams. Come to our Sunday 7 p.m. live streams. That's also something that you definitely should do. And if not my channel, whoever's channel, it doesn't matter. I care about your sobriety. And if you only care about hanging out with this channel for a little while and you're just like, yeah, I don't know, well, like, whatever. I want a channel that's in color, or some other superficial stuff, or you just don't like the way that I say dad and mom because I have a Cleveland accent, whatever. Do whatever works for you. But let's get you sober, at least get you on the right track to being sober. Okay, cool. Moving on to question number 13. Question 1 through 10 are on another video. All right, I didn't really mean for this to be so big. Let me make it a little bit smaller. In 3, 2, 1, Shazam. Okay, number 13. Can anyone quit drinking? Technically, yes. But so as fun and charming as I like to be, I'm also a realist, and I'm going to say no. No, not anybody can quit drinking. Under the right circumstances, anybody can quit drinking. But sometimes the right circumstances comes for people when the doctor says, yeah, so you've got like 3 months to live. Or if you don't stop whatever it is that you're doing that's destroying your liver, or your colon, or your kidneys, or your pancreas, or your heart, brain, throat, whatever it is, if you don't stop whatever you're doing, you might only have like a year left to live. You're not terminal yet. We're not, it's not too late to turn around, but maybe it's a rock bottom event, an RBE, we'll call it that. Well, a little RBE happens, maybe a DUI happens. Maybe that's a rock bottom event, right? Maybe you get so many DUIs. I don't know how many DUIs. Maybe if you're watching live, how many DUIs is too many DUIs? How many DUIs until your license is just taken away forever? I don't know. I've never had a DUI. I don't know why I'm knocking on wood. I'm sober, but but you know what I mean. When you think about like all the times, there's still times where I'm like, I see a cop in a parking lot, and I'm at a bar. I'm just like, oh boy, better buckle up. I gotta put my fake glasses on so they think that I'm really smart. But I'm like, oh yeah. I actually did that like last week. I was playing pool and I was like, I'm sober. What am I worried about? And I was like, hey cops, how you doing? So that's a nice feeling, right? But so can anyone quit drinking? Yeah, technically yes, anybody can quit drinking. But until you decide that this is what you want to do, until you actually put the effort into it, until you've watched all 160 videos on my channel. I'm just kidding. But you got to do a little bit more than just saying like, oh, I'm just going to quit. And then putting yourself through like the pain, just putting yourself raw in like raw emotion land out into the world, having to deal with like your coworkers and your friends and your family and maybe like your significant other or whoever you're dating that may or may not be cheating on you, that's always like tilting their phone a little bit away from you or got that mirror screen on. Get them out of there. Get them out of your life. Get all the toxicity out of your life. It's not just about quitting alcohol. It's not just about removing that one toxic thing. It's about Let's start once you get that one, you go like, I love momentum. We got rid of alcohol. What else is toxic? Let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of this. You're taking all these toxic ingredients out of the recipe of your life. I wish Sam was here to timestamp that, but it's all good. And then, so once we get rid of some of these toxic ingredients, then we start doing what? We start doing a little bit of boom, a little bit of something healthy, boom, a little bit of something holistic, something bam, that makes me happy. Oh, how about a little bit extra rest? Doesn't that sound good? As we get older, what do we start fantasizing more about? Getting 8 hours of sleep, right? So can anyone quit drinking? Maybe. But like me just being real, like no, because a lot of people are like, somebody commented today, and I had to, I was just very fair but firm with them, and I just basically told them, I think they said, the person said, they were commenting on my episode number 90, and they were saying, all right, day one, we'll see how this goes. And I think that's verbatim, exactly word for word what they said. And then like because I write back, which is, why we're the fastest and the fastest growing community here on YouTube. And if you haven't said that yet, say it out loud and say it 5 more times. We are the best and the fastest growing community on sobriety on YouTube. There, it's been said. And if you say it too, then we're all saying it, right? But I take the time to respond to your comments, at least to give you a heart, right? Or to at least actually write you back. So this person said, with regard to the topic here, question number 13, which is can anyone quit drinking? The person said, it's day one, we'll see how this goes. And I said, well, like, what if you said that about getting your degree? And you're like, oh, it's first day of college, we'll see how this goes. And I'm not saying that we could also change the tone, like, oh, it's day one, let's see how this goes. I guess, it's hard to read how the person was actually saying it, right? There's no inflection, there's no tone, it's just words on the screen. But I said, like, but what if you had said that about like being a parent? You're like, oh, it's my first day being a parent, we'll see how this goes, which was the exact verbatim phrase, right? Or it's my first day of being married, we'll see how this goes. Right? It doesn't matter how you say, like, we'll see how this goes. Usually, when you say we'll see how this goes, kind of implies like you're not really confident, you're not really sure. It's already kind of basically doomed from the start. So whenever I see people like that in the comments section, it's just kind of like a friendly, like, hey, what are we talking about here? This is your life. Your life is going to end eventually. Why don't we give it a try? Why don't we give it a good, honest try? There are people that care about your sobriety. That was another episode, I think, episode number 118, if I'm not mistaken. Could be mistaken. I've been wrong once. But episode number 118, let me cheat here. Episode 118 was somebody cares about your sobriety, right? And it's true. Like, there's somebody out there. Maybe it's a patient family member. Maybe it's your loved one. Maybe it's friends. Maybe it's friends. Maybe it's even the bartender that's been serving you, or the person at the liquor store. Imagine how many times they have to see people with their eyes bloodshot and glassy and watery and making bad decisions, and maybe being knocking on hell's door and taking a couple too many bathroom breaks for one reason or another. You know what I mean? So if you have the will and the determination to succeed, if you're preparing for sobriety, like we talk about in episode number 108, number 103, and then we watch episode number 119, practicing your sobriety. We're practicing sobriety every day. We're practicing our first day 3. We're practicing our first month. We're practicing our first 3 months of sobriety. We're practicing going to the movies sober. We're practicing going to the beach sober. We're practicing going to a dinner party sober. We're practicing going on a date for the first time without like drinking a couple of shots or a glass of wine before you go to show up to drink a couple of shots and a glass of wine, right? We're practicing all these things to get in touch with our own emotions, to figure out like who we are. We already know who drunk version of us is. We know who I know who drunk me is, right? But I want to know who sober me is. I want to know who present me is. And from that, I'm finding out that I'm loving myself a lot more. I don't know about you, but I love me. And that should definitely be one of the goals with sobriety. That's one of the destinations along the way on your journey to sobriety is I would hope that you should also be able to say, I love myself. And if you haven't yet, keep going. But once you get there, to be like, all right, I'm going back to drinking again. All right, let's keep on going. Let me say hello to a couple people that are here. Hello to Tiffany Games. Hello to Jennifer Burton and to Union Jack. The Flip Side, Marta D. You are into something special. and whoever else. I can't read your comments, but we will have a live stream after this episode at about, I'm talking a lot. So we'll see what happens. But it'll be a separate episode. It'll be a separate live stream after this episode. Okay? Because there are people that are going to watch this that also don't care about live streams. So let me keep trimming the fat here and move on to question number 14. Maybe I can make the answers a little shorter. Who knows? Maybe not. Probably not. I talk a lot. All right. Question number 14. Did you like drinking alcohol? Yes. Next question. Just kidding. But yeah, I like drinking alcohol. But like, I was practicing what I was going to say this morning when I was eating my buckwheat and my blueberries and drinking my coffee and stuff and petting my cat. But did I like drinking alcohol? Yeah, I didn't like, but I also too, I'm like, but alcohol, the taste of alcohol sucks. And then some of you are like, well, Petite Sirah doesn't suck. It's like, yeah, it does. So, but Chardonnay's tasty. No, it isn't. I know taste is subjective. Don't get mad at me. I'm being funny. I'm trying to be funny. Some of you are like, it's not funny. I miss Chardonnay. It's okay. You can miss Chardonnay. You can love the taste of Chardonnay. But the taste of alcohol, in my opinion, it's my opinion. My opinion. It's okay. I don't like the taste of beer personally. And though my liquor of choice was tequila, it didn't taste good. I couldn't have a big glass of tequila. I couldn't have a big glass of White Claw or beer or a big glass of wine. I only put up with it because I was gonna get buzzed, because I was gonna get drunk. And that's toxic behavior. It's like if you just keep putting up with this abusive partner because the sex is good. That's the same thing, right? You keep putting up with this abusive and this verbally abusive boss at work, but the benefits are good. You know, that's toxic behavior. Knock it off, right? So did I like drinking alcohol? The ritual of it, sort of, just because I knew like it was going to get me to a place where I was going to relieve some anxiety, which now that I'm not drinking, guess what I don't feel anymore? Anxiety! It's true. And I very rarely get depressed. I still get depressed, you know, like cloudy days, right? And if things aren't going my way, I didn't win the lottery 4 times yesterday or Monday. I played 4 lotteries on Monday. I lost every single one, but it's whatever. It's still like it's silly to get mad over something that like you already knew that you're probably going to lose anyway, right? And that's your decision. That's your fault. If you get mad that you date somebody who they're always posting sexy pictures on Instagram or whatever, right? You're putting yourself in a position to love somebody that maybe just wants attention from everybody, but you just happen to be the person that they're in a relationship, right? So dress however you want, do whatever you want. It's your life, right? That's you. I say that all the time, but I'm just saying as an example, it's your fault though if you're putting yourself in a position to set yourself up for failure. So you can't and you shouldn't be mad at the results. Like if you take a route home that's full of potholes, that's full of, it's maybe it's a dangerous area, and every day you get mad and you're just like, want to fix these potholes, and we're just like, when are you gonna clean up this neighborhood? And you're getting mad about it, and it's just like, when you could just go a different route. You can go a different route in all aspects of life. Think about that. So I liked getting drunk. I liked avoiding my responsibilities. That's really what it comes down to. I liked passing the time because I felt like I was time traveling. I felt like if I had sabotaged myself enough, then guess what I wouldn't care about anymore? I wouldn't care about my responsibilities. I wouldn't care about starting that new business. I wouldn't care about updating my website. I wouldn't I know. This is my impression of myself every time I was getting drunk. It was just like, yeah, all right, I know, God, I know I'm supposed to be doing all these things and helping people and being of service to others and let my creativity shine. But I don't want to do it right now. I just want to hang out. I just want to just forget about it, and I just want to exist. I don't want to do all that right now. It's too much. I already went to work. I don't want to work more. I don't want any work. I don't want to. That was basically how I was. That was like the conversation. Some of you are like, I can see why you need therapy. But I don't need therapy anymore, so stop judging me. But that's kind of how it was, right? And I was more addicted to doing the thing that was keeping me from having to do any more in life. And when you're in that phase of life, when you're in that rut of life and you don't have any momentum, your momentum is pretty much gone down. You're at 0 miles per hour. And if that little bar wasn't there, keeping that, if that little, whatever that thing is, you know what I'm talking about. But if it can go less than 0, it would, right? And that's kind of how a lot of us feel like when we're starting or thinking about starting our sobriety journey. So let's go on to question number 15. What is it? What is it? What's it gonna be? All right, here we go. We'll make it a little bit bigger so y'all can read it. The question is, what am I supposed to drink after I quit alcohol? Literally anything else. You could drink anything you want. You could drink cow's blood if you want to. I don't suggest doing that, but you could drink anything else, right? We always say, like, when you quit drinking alcohol, the only thing that you can't do when you quit drinking alcohol is get drunk. That's the only thing that you can't do. You can literally do everything else, and you can drink everything else. Name a beverage. Name up any other beverage on planet Earth. You want me to do it? If I have to start saying tea and coffee and kombucha and hot chocolate and Sprite and Pepsi and Fanta and ginger ale and ginger beer, if I have to start rattling off a bunch more, you're gonna be in trouble. So literally drink anything else. What's the problem though? Like, here's the thing: is like, when people will quit drinking alcohol, they're like, well, I need something. I need to get non-alcoholic beer or something. And it's like, but how thirsty are you really though? Somebody commented recently, and they were like, yeah, somebody is drinking, they quit drinking alcohol, but then they're drinking 12 non-alcoholic beers a day. A non-alcoholic beer still has like 100 calories. That's 1,200 calories. So you're not doing yourself a favor in the health department, right? So it's 3,500 calories equals a pound of fat. So in 3 days, you're gaining a pound of fat if you're still consuming 1,200 extra calories a day. I mean, it's like, again, the question is like, how thirsty are you? That's a lot. That's 120 fluid ounces. If a bottle of beer is 12 ounces and you drink 12 non-alcoholic beers, that's 120 ounces of hoppy, malty liquid. Do you even drink that much water? When was the last time you drank 120 ounces of water when you weren't riding your bike for 4 hours or running a half marathon or whatever, mowing a bunch of lawns and doing a bunch of hot yard work, whatever it was? So like, really think, like, we're programmed. There's a lot of bullshit in our lives. We just back up and be real. We've adopted a lot of coping mechanisms, and we've adopted a lot of adaptations to stress in situations that eventually became habits. And if your habit was you were drinking 12 beers a day because you liked getting hammered drunk, and then you go from getting hammered drunk to getting sober, again, and then now you're just drinking 12 non-alcoholic beers, it's like, well, what's the point? Why are you drinking 12 of them? Why are you even drinking the non-alcoholic? Like, I mean, if you really love the taste of beer, if you're one of those rare people who actually likes the taste of beer, do you. Do whatever makes you happy, as long as you're not being a jerk, and as long as you're not hurting anybody. But also, too, remember, that includes yourself. So remember, ask yourself the question, how thirsty am I really? Do I really need, like, am I so insecure, like, I gotta have my bottle in my hand because I don't know what to do with my hand if I'm out in public. I want to make sure that, I want to make sure that I put on this is my cloak. This is the thing that if I hold this, I'll look like everybody else. I'll blend into everybody else. I don't want any unnecessary attention. I don't want to be an individual making their own decisions. Or do you? Take pride in your sobriety. You don't have to blend in with everybody else. I mean, but again, if you really like non-alcoholic beer, sure, hydration's key, right? Whatever you want to do. So drink whatever you want. You can drink anything but alcohol. All right, question number 16. Would you consider, hold on, is it on the screen right? Okay, good. Would you consider you have a newfound freedom in sobriety? I know who asked this question. Yeah, because I'll tell you, here, let me tell you why. It's like, what was I gonna do? Let me sit in silence. I don't know why I said that. I don't like wasting words. Let me tell you why. Of course, I'm gonna tell you why. So would you consider that you have a newfound freedom in sobriety? Yeah, I feel like I'm more in touch and more in tune with who I am now, really, as a person. I still know that some things irritate me still. In some ways I could be more patient. In some ways I could be more kind and compassionate and considerate, right? And I'm working on all those things, and I'm actively working on those things. And I let the people know around me, if I feel like I failed them, or I see that their mood has changed because of something that I've done or said, I let them know at least more often, or I hope that I let them know more often, like, hey, I'm aware, I could have chosen better in this situation. But it makes me less aggressive now that I'm not drinking alcohol. I can be more vulnerable. I can be more in touch with the yin, the yang, the masculine, the feminine, whatever. I can admit more to like, oh hey, okay, I was wrong. You were right. Even if it doesn't matter like who's right, who's wrong, but it's like, oh, I was wrong about that thing. So I'm not just going to sit here in pride and in silence and stew about being wrong or potentially being wrong or whatever. I can get to a better conclusion more faster. Get to a better conclusion faster. English. So I would have edited that out. But so would you consider that you have newfound freedom? Yeah. And it's so like there are definitely less places I go to, right? But the other day, Sam the moderator and I were out. We went out for tacos after one of our live streams. Maybe I'm not sure if it was. I think it was Friday's live stream. On Sunday we ate pizza. On Friday, we went out for tacos afterwards. We were having a good time, and we were having a good time. And then one of our buddies from the bar that we go to all the time, one of them said, or came up to us, and he was his like old like weeble wobble self. Like I was saying, like I was talking about him, and here's how this person always looks. He always looks like every now and then he kind of looks like he just like licked a piece of he just like sucked on a lemon, just like he's kind of like weird, like kind of like that, like weird physical mannerisms. I don't know. It's almost kind of like he's like a bee on pesticide or something like that. You know, it's just like weird little mannerisms, just like head checks and cocky involuntary spasms. And so he was being all loosey goosey, and I knew he was being loosey goosey because he was, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, maybe a little bit of this or that. Who knows what he was up to? But he commented he said something to me about he's like, oh man, yeah, you guys are sober. But he was kind of saying it in a derogatory way, and I was like, I'm way more fun than you are right now. I'm way more animated right now, and I'm more. And I didn't say all this out loud. I was thinking this in my head, and I was being kind and patient with him, and I didn't want to make him feel bad. But like he brought up the topic, and I didn't say anything about it. I just let him talk. But I felt like I was being more animated, like I was being more open and more free and more extroverted than I normally am. I'm naturally an introvert. You might not think so by this channel, but like out in public, I'm pretty introverted because like I like to I like to make sure that I'm capturing all my ideas. I'm an idea person. I'm a creative person. I'm not all about like, let me have a bunch of conversations with you and adopt whatever you think about the world. That's not kind of how I roll. I need to be very in tune with my purpose, right? So he kind of made this commentary about me being sober as if it was like derogatory, like I was being like I was being more conservative and like kind of like being Debbie Downer. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, what are you talking about? I'm driving all the conversation. We're having a good time. I invited you over here. He ended up meeting a girl because of us, because like I started talking to the girl and was trying to get her to give me her tacos, but whatever. So we were having a good time. And so I feel like I have more of a newfound freedom because like I feel like I don't have to wait for my medicine to kick in to be me. And that is a lot of freedom. That makes me feel a lot better about just who I am. I don't have to like wait for the alcohol to kick in. I don't have to go through the ritual. I don't have to drive to the liquor store. I don't have to spend my money. Now I have more money to buy more things. Now I'm just like, I wake up, I'm just like, yeah, I want that on Amazon. Let me buy that. And I like to treat myself more. I get to sleep in. When I want to sleep in, when I get a little bit more extra sleep, I can get a little bit more extra sleep because I know it's going to just go in the bank. It's not going, I'm not sleeping extra because, oh my God, I have to. Please, God, help me get out of this hangover. I got to be at work after work 12 hours today. What have I done? ... again. So newfound freedom, you got it. Thanks for the question. All right. Maybe we'll do another one of these series. Maybe we'll do a bunch of these. Who knows? So thank you to everybody that sent out their questions. And some people are talking about sending, if you want to send anything to our channel, to our mission, if you want to send a monetary donation, feel free, hit the little $ button down below. You can join our channel, be an official member of our channel. Your name will change colors in our chats and you'll get the little emblem. And then whatever you want to do, or you can donate to our Patreon, or you can send a super chat, or you can send a super sticker. I wasn't thinking about anybody even doing that today because this is an episode. It's a little bit weird, but it's okay. Nobody's made a donation anyway. But if you want to make a donation, just saying, you can go ahead and do it. All right, moving on. Let's see. What's the next question going to be? Did I already copy it? All right, what's the longest drinking binge you've ever been on? Which is going to be question number 17. We're editing these live in the house. In the house. Here we go. 17. Question 17. What is the longest drinking binge you've ever been on? I've been on a few long ones, and this was when I went off to college because, you know, you're not living at home anymore and you're trying to navigate the world and, you know, your different body odors, and you're trying to develop, you know, your own style and figure out, like, are you gonna live a healthy and productive and a long life, or are you gonna burn out and fade away? Is anybody gonna ever love you? You know, all the anxieties of being a young person in their early 20s or whatever, or any stage in life. We all wonder that. Doesn't matter how old you are. You know, you have different smells, and you wonder if people are gonna love you. And so during that period of time, I had, and I can't say it was every day, but I definitely had very long binges of drinking, where it was for over a year. And some people might say, like, oh, over a year, I've been drinking for over 10 years. Well, guess what? It's not a competition. It's not something to brag about. But I think maybe, I don't know for sure, maybe like a year and 6 months, maybe a year and a half. Maybe it was a year and 4 months, year and 2 months. I don't know. But I've had a couple. I've had at least 3 binges in my life, at least 3, where I drank every day, consecutively every day. Tried to, you know, with the intention to try to get drunk every day. And that was definitely after my college years. So, yeah, so that was it. What's the longest binge you've ever been on? And then, you know, like, consecutively though, for the most part, I started drinking when I was about 21. I'm gonna be 40 this year. I know, hard to believe, I know. But so that was roughly 18 years of drinking, because I quit last year. I quit October 30th, 2020. Again. So this is my current streak. And you say, like, wait a minute, you said this channel started in 2018. Like, okay, yeah, but I fell off the wagon, okay? It's all good. We're here now, right? It's all good. It's part of practicing sobriety. And I found better tools after I quit the first time. I tried again. It didn't last for so long. I tried again. That lasted a little bit longer. And then it finally stuck. You know, I found a formula that really worked. And I'm going to be honest. Again, when I talk about episode number 117, thank you for your donation, by the way, Mango Sherry. When I talk about episode number 117, which is you never know who you're gonna inspire with your sobriety, it's true, because you guys, maybe not any of you specifically that are here in the chat, but you guys inspired me to come back. So when I started, I have another podcast which I've not been updating, which I'm going to start in the future. But it's called #JPod. It's just my full name. So it's youtube.com/JAEANDRES. It's my name. So here, let me put it in the chat. So it's #JPod. So you could just search JPod, #JPod. And but I started doing that to start facilitating my love of comedy. I started writing these comedy scripts and these sketches, and I turned them into podcasts. And I was doing that, but I was still kind of drinking. And then I decided about that same time, I was like, well, since I already have this whole camera set up, and then people started asking me on this channel in the comment section of older videos, right? I think I was only on episode number 27 or something like that. I had 27 episodes up until October 30th of 2020. And then I started making episodes for this channel again because people started asking me. People started asking, hey, why don't you, or like, where are you? And then I didn't want to be like, ooh, I've been drinking. But that was the truth. I've been drinking. I was drinking, I was partying, I was doing it up. I was jumping on the roofs of people's cars, and, I may have slapped somebody in the face. Oh, it's old me. That was the old me. Okay, different me now. I'm still capable of doing all those things, but I'm not doing those things anymore. So, yeah, that's the end of that answer. How about that? Hope you liked the answer. And if you didn't, guess what? There's another question coming up in 3, 2, 1. How long is your longest streak of sobriety? Oh, guess what? You're looking at it. So this is it right now. So again, this is a judgment-free zone. If any of you are going to start to judge and say like, I've been sober for like 10 years, you have a whole community about it, well, knock it off. Those are not the kind of people that we want in this community. Don't be Debbie Downer or Douglas Downer or whatever your D name is, followed by the word Downer. Don't be that. But so how long is your longest streak of sobriety? It's right now. And let me see. So I always talk about the what I talk about. I talk about the Quizilla app, if you haven't yet, download the Quizilla app. I'm not affiliated with it. You can do whatever you want. But I have to date, let me show you. This is my sobriety. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. 298 days, 13 hours, 56 minutes, and 40 seconds, but who's counting? And my current period savings is $6,398. And I'm not saying that $6,398 and 17 cents. Now, I'm not saying all of it's in my checking account or my savings account, but it's also been reinvested in this channel. I've gotten a new camera since I started. I've gotten at least one new camera. I think 2 new cameras. I've gotten 2 new cameras since I've started this channel back up, right? I got a new laptop since I started this channel up. Just that savings alone has paid off my 2 new cameras, and my new laptop. Aren't you glad I stopped drinking? Because it's helping me to have a better overall production. And those are things now when I look at that camera, I go like, thanks, sobriety. Thank you. And I think about it, like my new laptop, like, this would be in the toilet. It would be. The camera would be in the toilet. It would just be a pipe dream. It'd be a fantasy, right? So you get to manifest your future. And I can't stress that enough. The past, all the past is a memory. And the future is what? It's your imagination. And it can be whatever you want it to be. And I know a lot of people, especially in the beginning, like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, well, I'm going to be the owner of Amazon someday. Like, I'm going to be the next Elon Musk, whatever. Like, I'm not going to be the president of the United States. Let's keep it real. Because I'm not getting a haircut. But we're not going to make lofty goals. We're not going to go like too high above the threshold of what we think that we're capable of. Because also, too, that's going to then leave memories that may potentially do what? Depress us, right? So let's not set ourselves up for failure. So my longest streak of sobriety right now. It's whatever I just said, 298 days, already forgot. So on the 30, in 5 days, it'll be 10 months, I think, right? Yeah, in 5 days, it'll be 10 months. Or is it already 10 months? 10 months? August, September, October. Yeah, it'll be 10 months in 5 days from now. So this is my longest streak, though I have other streaks. But on this streak, I intend to keep going, and my minimum goal is 1 year. But like when I get to 1 year, like I don't personally feel like alcohol's it's not a benefit to me. All it's gonna do is like, yeah, I may get a buzz out of it like the first hour or 2 or whatever, but then I have to sit with the feelings and the depression the next day. And like, I can't believe I gave up a year of sobriety to like have a glass of champagne at a wedding or whatever. Like, who cares? And like, you might say like, well, why would you be so hard on yourself? And you could do whatever you want. You could be as hard on yourself or as kind and forgiving as you want to. But I just know that alcohol, it's easy for me to drink alcohol and to consume alcohol. And I'm just like, excuse me. But it's easy for me to be on alcohol and then to do what? Keep being on alcohol, because it's like, well, I just drank yesterday, it's whatever. It's like, what's 1 drink or 2 drinks gonna hurt? And it's like, yeah, 1 or 2 drinks isn't gonna hurt, but it's gonna hurt your tomorrow. It's gonna hurt how you feel about your sobriety and your abilities to be sober and stay sober. And it's gonna definitely create a clear wedge between you and your belief system of what you think that you can accomplish, because now you've failed ... again, and now you have to go through the whole process of getting sober ... again. Is the first 3 days, answer below. I can't participate in the live chat right now, but answer below. Do you think the first 3 days of sobriety are easy? I'll ask here. I'll actually do, this will be a sort of a live stream. I'll ask a question in a poll. We'll do a poll. We do these in our actual live streams. We're doing a poll. Are the first 3 days of sobriety easy? Question mark. We're asking the community. And if you're watching this in the future, the whole live chat script is available, because this is technically a live stream. And then the answer to the live streams, or the answer to the poll questions, will also be made available to you. So are the first 3 days of sobriety easy? People are already saying no. And my answer is no. It's actually hell no. All right, so question number 19. Are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, and people watching around the world, it's time for question 19. Have you ever tried other substances besides alcohol? I wish I had read these first before I put them up on the screen. So, I'll say that I haven't tried everything under the sun, but I've made a couple of trips to the moon and back. I'll put it that way. So yeah, I definitely tried a bunch of things. If you'd caught, the only thing that I really have, I don't know how much I've ever admitted to on this channel, and also too, like, my mom watches all this, and but I'm an adult and I'm fine, right, for the most part, mostly okay. But you know, like I talked about in one of the last live streams, let me soothe my throat. I keep delaying this answer. But I talked about one of the last, I don't care. I talked about one of the last live streams, either Sundays the 22nd or Fridays the 20th. I talked about going to like Bonnaroo and music festivals. I've been to a bunch of music festivals, and I will have to practice, because I want to go to a music festival again. I will have to practice going to music festival sober, and I don't know if I'm gonna make it. It's a completely different schedule when you're sober, right? Because you know you're an adult, and you get tired. You get tired. There's only so much that like a burger and fries and water can do for your stamina, right? Under the hot blazing summer sun. So there were definitely some things that I consumed throughout the day to get myself in a different mindset, you know, or to make myself, you know, maybe chill out a little bit, or maybe get up and want to dance a little bit, and then maybe go, yeah, a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So that was kind of like, you know, how the 3-day or 4-day festival would be. So I think I'd said in one of those last live streams that in a day, and I forgot one, I think in a day at a music festival, I would do a lot of things. And I think I would be on, throughout the day, I would be on as many as 8 different substances in a day. Again, I'm not bragging, and I turned out fine, right? But yeah, so I would be on, it depends on, you know, the schedule of what we were doing, who we were seeing that day, what kind of mindset I wanted to be in, you know, what kind of like spiritual place I wanted to be in, if that's what I was doing, or if I just wanted to just have fun and just let loose because I'm on vacation or whatever. So it depends. So have I tried other substances besides alcohol? Yes. I will definitely say that I've never done meth, and I've definitely never done heroin or opiates, and I have no tolerance for any of those things, for opiates. I won't even take Percocet, like Percocet or Valium or Oxycontin. I've never been prescribed Oxycontin, but like I've never even taken them. Even after surgery, after breaking my ankle, I didn't take any pain pills. It made me feel sick. And then any codeine. I just say that I'm allergic to codeine. I just told my doctors I'm allergic to it, so they won't even give it to me. So not because I have a problem. I have a problem with it because it doesn't feel good. I don't like it. I don't like being sedated. I like being able to do things and think clearly, right? So, but technically, Adderall is pretty close to meth, they say. So, I don't know. Okay, next question. Who's ready for the last question? Me? All right, cool. Let's do it. Last question. And then we're going to wrap up this episode. That'll be the end of today's episode. And then we'll be phasing out. So after the end of this episode and every episode, there will be the screen that comes up, and you'll be able to click if you want to watch one of our previous episodes. That won't be updated the second this video is up or over, because I'll have to go to another computer and do that. But after this episode is over, a few minutes later, maybe 15 minutes later, we're going to be doing an actual live stream. So stick around. And if you're watching this already pre-recorded, thank you for your patience while I explain these things that you probably don't care about. But come hang out on Friday nights at 7 p.m. and Sunday, because it's just like this, except there's more of me participating and less of me trying to speed through the answers, because I know some of you are goldfish, right? All right, here we go. Question number 20. What's the most intoxicated that you've ever been? The most intoxicated I've ever been was, this light has been in the wrong place this whole time. There we go, more light on my face. The most intoxicated that I've ever been was, it's kind of I think it's a boring story, because I was 19. It was the first time I'd ever gone to a house party where there was alcohol, and nobody had ever talked to me about, I feel like they should talk to you about alcohol in middle school, in high school. So I was already out of high school, and, oh no, I was in high school. I wasn't 19. Or was I? I don't know. I was either 17 or 19. I can't remember. I think I was 19 though. I think I was getting ready to work at Best Buy the next day, and my friend had a house party, and it was all just like crap. It was whatever. Like, nobody knew how to drink. nobody's like, it's like I never had a conversation with any adults about drinking and how much you can drink, or what you should do, if you should eat beforehand, or how much is too much, and how many units of alcohol before like alcohol poisoning happens, right? How many units of alcohol your body can filter out. And so I didn't have any of that information. And so I remember there was like, the fridge was full of like Seagrams and Mike's Hard Lemonade and Southern Comfort and whatever crappy decisions that all the other 19-year-olds and 17-year-olds and whoever else was there. It was mostly just people from our class. It was just like, it was people that just graduated, some seniors and some juniors from our high school. Whoever was still like in town while I was going to community college. And and I remember saying, look how much I can drink. I remember saying that. And I started chugging grocery store grade, like the lower alcohol proof. I started chugging grocery store grade Southern Comfort. And I already had like a wine cooler, like a Seagram's or a Mike's Hard Lemonade before that, or something like, I don't know. But it was my first time drinking a unit of alcohol, at least one. And I drank however many, and I ended up vomiting in his kitchen sink while there was dishes in it still. And then I ended up vomiting, and you don't feel good because you're like, oh my God, people are gonna know, and people are gonna be making fun of me, and I messed up, and you feel like all this pressure from the world around you, and like, oh, I don't know. And then and so many questions, like, what if my parents find out? What if his parents find out? What if I break something? What if I did something wrong? What if now nobody's ever gonna love me? That type of thing. And then I remember talking to my friend, and I remember talking to him, and I was like, I went to go lay down on the couch, and I was like, I need a garbage can. I'm gonna throw up. And he was like, no, you're not. And I was like, it's your house. I remember saying, I was like, it's your house. I don't care if you think I need one or not. I'm telling you I need one. And then so he got, after already vomiting, I was sitting closest to the TV. So if you were all in the back of the living room and the TV was right here, I was like on the couch, very close to the TV. And everybody that was at the party, because we had poor communication skills, we're all like 19 or 18 or whatever. Everybody was watching me violently vomit into a trash can. And the next day, somebody said to me, like, I don't know how you vomited so much. I don't know how you could possibly have had so much content in your stomach, but you vomited so much. And that next morning, I woke up next to the toilet. Somehow I made it to the toilet again, and I didn't wake up with any like penises or anything drawn on my face. And everybody just left me alone, thank God. And my buddy's dad came home that morning, and he was like, "Oh, you drink a little too much last night?" And I opened my eyes. When you open your eyes and you just don't even know like what's happening or where the voice is. So he was there talking. I kind of opened my eyes like, and looked at him, and I was like, oh yeah. I was like, well, I'm never gonna drink again. And then I had to go to my orientation to work at Best Buy to sell computers. This is like in the year 2001. So this was 20 years ago. That was my first experience with drinking alcohol. So that's the most intoxicated I've ever been. The most I've ever drank though in a day was I drank, I think I was like maybe, 26 or something like that. And I drank a whole bottle in one day of Jim Beam Red Stag. It's pretty tasty for being a bourbon. It's like a cherry flavored bourbon or whatever. Not plugging it, not promoting it. Definitely don't get any. But yeah, so that was the most I drank. It was for my birth, or no, it was just like a regular night with my friends. And we actually went. There was like open houses in our neighborhood, and we decided like just get drunk and go to open houses and see people's houses. And I drank that whole bottle in one day. So that was the most I ever drank in one day. But I definitely know that there are people that's in our community, and again, it's not bragging. Not bragging. It's not a contest. There are people that are definitely in pain. And if you're wondering, if you're worried about quitting alcohol, always consult a healthcare professional first and foremost. Like I don't mean to minimize what we're doing here, because I believe that we're doing God's work. But this is a YouTube channel, right? I'm not a healthcare professional. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not an alcohol counselor. I'm not a therapist. But I am a super awesome person and I'm trying to gain your trust because I care. You know, I do care. I do care about your sobriety, and I care about the progress that you're making in your life. And I care that you are also going to be a better representative for the human race and a better representative for sobriety. And that's what we're hoping to do here with this channel. And we're trying to help people. Again, our mission, if you want to donate to our mission, hit the $ button in the live chat, or next to the subscribe button, hit the join button down below and officially join our community. Or you can send us a donation and support our mission here, which is to help people start their sobriety journeys by donating to patreon.com/GettingSoberAgain. Okay? So we're trying to help people live their best life one video at a time. Let's check out our poll before we close it out, and we're going to end this video. The poll was, are the first 3 days of sobriety easy? 15 answers. 80% of you said no, it is not easy the first 3 days. And I agree, it is definitely not easy. So for those of you that are here and you want to keep the live chat going, we are going to start a fresh live chat separately here in about 15 minutes. So at about 1:30 Eastern Standard Time. And for those of you that are watching here in the future, that are watching this as a pre-recorded episode, I love you. Thank you for putting up with this being a little bit different. We didn't have any funny animated GIFs or GIFs, if you like saying GIFs. We didn't have any of that on the top of the screen. But who knows? We might be doing this format more often in the future. This is definitely way more fun for me to do this live. And then also, too, it doesn't take nearly as much time because I don't have to do a bunch of editing. So if you're okay with me saying sometimes and having some long pauses where I have to think for 2 seconds, then maybe we'll just keep doing this. So at the end of this video, again, stay tuned. We'll have some video suggestions. If you're watching this in the future, if you're watching this live, there will be no video suggestions. It'll just be the splash screen. So again, I want to wish you good luck on your sobriety journey, and we will see you in the next episode. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm.